Hello and welcome. Power Coach Alicia here. Today we're going to talk about how to feel authentically loved for who you truly are without another healing tool. We're also going to be layering in what, I brought to the table yesterday around romanticizing relationships, making it more than what it is. And I want to start with a story in that area because when you romanticize relationships, when you try to put on other people what it is that you want them to be instead of seeing them for what you really are, you could be caught in a very, very, very dangerous situation for your mind, body, and soul, like I was between June 30th and August 28th of 2025, right? So I want to share with you what happened because I think that this is really, really, really important. And now I can share my story and I don't have to worry about any of the other things because I'm no longer affiliated here. So, at the beginning of June, or excuse me, at the end of June, I went in search of a spiritual community that I could be a part of that, I could just develop my spirituality deeper and really just connect with myself on a deeper level. But I needed a place that really, really, really matched who I am. So I went to this event. And I didn't know that it was part of a spiritual center. I went to an event that was neurographic art, and we'll talk about that another time. But it was a really cool workshop that I went to, and I really enjoyed it. And then after the workshop, I was taken upstairs and I was shown the spiritual center. And on the wall it said "I am," and I mentioned that. I said, "Oh, it says I am on the wall." And then I was told, yes, everything we do here is about the manifestation of I am, the law of attraction. Michael Bernard Beckwith is, one of the reverends. And, I was just shared all of this information. And I was like, oh my gosh, Michael Bernard Beckwith is from The Secret and da-da-da-da-da. And then and it just brought everything together. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the place for me. This is where I want to be. My soul led me here. I'm called here. I am in, right? So I was so excited to go to church on Sunday. And I did. And then from there, I ended up sharing my business skills and then my soul healing skills that I have to offer. From there, I was, brought in or was going to be offered a social media position. And then from that moment of the social media position that I was going to be offered, there was a person in the spiritual center that started attempting to undermine me, undercut, not allow me to be in these spaces, not allow me to show up, not allow me to do the work, put me somewhere else, kind of get me on the outside. And the Reverend was being easily swayed. Hindsight is I can see that now that she was being easily swayed. But in it, I just thought, maybe the Reverend got a little bit of cold feet. I'm a brand new person, want to make sure I was in a space. And she positioned it like she wanted to make sure that I was in a space that I loved and that I was, that was good for me and all of this stuff. This is so important. So I want you to stick with me. So, and a chunk of this live is going to be this story because I'm going to show you how you romanticize things that you really want and you're not paying attention to what's right in front of you. This story will be everything in what we're talking about today. Okay. So anyways, I felt like this was my space. I felt so loved just in the energy and this was home for me. And I just couldn't wait to continue going there and being a part of it. And then again, the social media thing, da da da. So there was a lot of things that happened. And so basically there were phone calls from this person where she was starting to lay her seeds of manipulation and undermining and trying to control and posturing and positioning herself and making sure that I knew that she was watching, she sees everything, making sure that I knew what her job was there and where she was part of things there. And she was just making sure I knew that she ran the show, that she was the important one. Now, in all of it, I didn't see that because I was romanticizing. And so in the romanticizing, I was missing what was right in front of my face. Step by step by step by step, I kept missing it and missing it and missing it. And then the hindsight is I would review the conversations, I would review what happened, and my higher self would lay it all out. I'd call my mom and be like, hey, this happened. And then my mom would show me in straight fact, hey, after everything you just said, this is what I hear. This is what you're saying, And so this was happening. And so right from the gate, she was interjecting and inserting herself everywhere she could that I belonged, or everywhere she could that I was, right? And making sure that I knew by little things that she would say. And so I when I had my first meeting with the Reverend about being the social media person, and the conversation was now shifting for me to be in a different position when I thought that meeting was about us to get on the same page of me doing social media. As time went on, I realized that if I was going to do the social media, I needed to be the director of marketing because I wasn't going to be undermined. Something in me said, hey, you're already starting to be undermined. Pay attention. If you're going to do this, you need to be the director of marketing. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do what you say you're going to do. And it's going to come back on you that you don't have the skill, that you didn't keep your word, right? So that's what I did. Now, the Reverend attempted to say, well, let's just see how things go through the end of the year with how we have things set up. We'll put you over here. We'll have you do this. And then at the beginning of the year, if we, need you, then we'll move you into, the social media position. And I said, how about you put me in the social media position between now and the end of the year, and I can show you what I do and how brilliant I am at what I do. And then if at the beginning of the year you feel like it's not a good fit, then you can put somebody else there. And then I said, but also I don't want the social media position. I want to be the director of marketing because I don't want to be undermined. Okay, so fast forward, I got the position, right? So the undermining, the interjection, all these little things were starting to happen. The easily sway of the Reverend was, starting to come up. Like, she wasn't making her own decision. She wasn't in her own power. She wasn't choosing what was the best for the congregation and everyone involved, okay? So these things are starting to come up. Now, I'm in the director of marketing, but little things are being said like, I need time to have meetings with everyone and get everybody on board. People are going to not, people here struggle with change, It took 4 weeks from the time that we had the original conversation of me taking over the social media for me to actually get the logins and passwords to actually do it. By time I started, I had all the branding done, everything that I was going to change for the website. I had the banners done for the Facebook group, Facebook page, all the about sections set, their tag, like all the things were set. Okay. So as soon as I got login information and I made it clear, I was ready to roll. I had content ready, all of it. Okay. Once word got to this person about me being the director of marketing, all hell broke loose. I had phone calls where I was attacked incessantly in multiple angles. So the very first phone call that I had was the most crazy experience I've ever had in my life. The contention, the aggression, the disdain, the posturing, the control, the psychoticness of this phone call made no sense. Rewind. I had noticed that this person was inserting herself everywhere, and she was everywhere I was, and she was making herself known everywhere I was. So I got a text from her that was, again, inserting herself. And so I replied with a very diplomatic reply. Hey, this is how I handle things. This is how I want to do things going forward. This is going to keep the lines of communication clear and just to make sure there's no ambiguity or any confusion. Well, she didn't like that because that was me exercising boundaries of myself and communication. So she responded. She was pissed. She was diminishing and condescending, but wrapped in love and light, if you will. But I read through it all. I read people like nobody's business, and people will say you can't tell tone through text. Tell me you can't tell tone through text when I'm pissed at you or really excited, and then we can talk about it later. I know tone through text. I know it. So I read her back again, and I say, thank you for that information. However, and I just exercise my boundary, and boom. When I got to this phone call with her, okay, I was not prepared for the psychoticness that was to come. Massive disdain, massive aggression, and people don't treat me like that. I have a resting bitch face, and I have an energy about me that you just know not to fuck with me. It's just how my mom raised me, how I carry myself. You just don't fuck with me. The problem is I've done a lot of healing, and I don't have that fuck off like written on my forehead anymore. It's like tucked away. And so I believe that I was giving off this vibe like I could be controlled, I could be aggressed, I could be treated this way, right? Meanwhile, I'm still romanticizing this spiritual space. I'm still romanticizing that this is my home. I'm still saying how much I love it and how excited I am to, double the congregation by, the beginning of January. And I'm still showing up and like fucking giving so many hours to building this and creating it, okay? And I need you to hear how I'm fucking myself over because I'm not actually seeing that I want this spiritual space to be something that it's showing me it's not. It's showing me that it is infected. It's showing me that it is energetically just fucking wrong for me. It's showing me that I am being used. It's showing me that I'm only here for this result and it doesn't matter what goes on, what happens. I'm being shown this. So in the middle, 3/4 of the way through this conversation, which I held myself very well. For those of you guys that know me, you're probably thinking, whoa, she called you, she talked to you, the contentment, the disdain, the aggression. And it was crazy. I'm telling you. Like if you would have heard this phone call and then the way that I acted and the way that they were acting, you'd have been floored. Because I stayed calm. I held my composure. I hear where you're coming from. I hear that that's your, your opinion. Those were my responses. The phone call was very clear. Things were said like, I will never respect you. I will never respect your position. I will never respect what you do. I will never listen to you. I will never take your lead. This is what the Reverend said that my position is. This is what the Reverend said that I will be doing. And if you have a problem, she said to take it up with her because this is what I do. And so again, posturing. She's very jealous, right? She's very, very, very threatened by me and feels very inferior to me. And it's very clear in how she's acting in this conversation. So in that, I'm texting the Reverend and I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm not fucking putting up with this. I'm about to step down. I'm not going to handle this while I'm here to double the congregation financially and people and all of that. This is already a huge undertaking because everything needs to be upgraded or revamped. It is a lot of work, which I would have been paid in a job over $120,000 a year for this position because it is very, very, very convoluted and cumbersome to do what I said I would do in a volunteer position. I don't have time to deal with people's bullshit in the middle of this, okay? So, long story longer, it boils down to this. This person is extremely fucking racist. And this isn't me reading into it and believing that it is. The problem with the whole thing is that I don't recognize racism. And that is how I got fucked over and abused for 2 straight months. Every single time these racist situations happened, it didn't become clear to me until afterwards, even if they were blunt and in my face. Because I don't see racism. I'm not an oppressed person. I don't walk like that. It's just not who I am. It's not how I was raised. It's not in me. And that's a bad thing and a good thing. So basically, the straw that broke the camel's back on both sides was this. This person told me that the only reason why I had this position at the center is because I'm Black. They doubled down and told me why. And they positioned the Reverend as making this decision because I remind her of home and the fact that there's a lot of Black people in Oakland, California, that makes her feel safe, it makes her feel good, it makes her feel warm, and so by putting me in this position, it gives her that home feeling. I made it clear that I didn't have the position because I was Black. I have the position because I'm brilliant at marketing, I'm brilliant at business, and I've also spent $750,000 on courses, coaches, programs, trainings, all across marketing, business, mindset, all of the fucking things. I have spent a lot of time studying and learning over 1,000 hours. It didn't come from the fact that I'm Black. I did defend myself there. She doubled down and made sure, oh, no, don't sell yourself short. It's because you're you. Okay, so there's a lot of racism that was wrapped in there. I went to the Reverend. I told her everything that happened. I am a person that will remember the most important things that you say in case I need to defend myself in the future. I can quote you word for word. It's just how I am and it's how I roll. It's how my brain works. It's like, listen to what people say so that you can protect yourself later. So that I just said was verbatim. It's literally what was said, not made up and not interjected. It was really fucking bullshit. And so I went to the Reverend, I said what happened, and let me be clear. In a 2-month period, I spent once it was all said and done, probably 30 to 40 hours on all of this shit. Not on the marketing stuff. There was another probably 40 hours, 30 hours of marketing stuff. But I spent another 30, 40 hours on the racism and defending myself and staying fucking calm and not obliterating this person verbally, mentally, or emotionally. I know how to cut somebody down to size to where they're contemplating whether or not they want to live. I know how to make somebody feel so small that they hate themselves. Like, I've been working basically for 20 years to heal showing up like that from the beginning when I feel attacked and when I feel like I need to protect myself. I've worked my ass off on that. So in this situation, I knew I was being challenged on, are you gonna go fucking straight scorched earth, or are you going to stand in the energy of the work that you've done for 20 years, especially the last 6 months? You have got to decide. Because if you go scorched earth, you are going to be causing more damage to yourself than this entire situation deserves. And you're going to have to come back from this, and you're going to be analyzing it, and you're going to be frustrated and pissed off at yourself because you let yourself down and you know, all these things. And so I decided to take the high road every fucking step I could. I never once bitched her out. I never once put her in her place. I never once made sure she knew who the fuck I was. Still to this day, never once. Why? We're in a spiritual community. And I didn't want to disrespect the Reverend. I'm the director of marketing. I'm not taking out of my earrings and fighting someone in the parking lot because they're being a psychotic human being. I have to take the high road because I'm in a leadership position. I made a commitment. You don't just act like that, right? But meanwhile, I'm romanticizing this place. This is my home. I love it here. They make me feel so good. The fuck they do. They don't make me feel good. I'm fighting against this woman. I'm fighting against all of this. I'm not feeling safe. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling loved. I'm not feeling honored and valued and respected, yet I'm telling myself that. And that's what I'm trying to say here. You cannot be in a situation where you feel this way and what you're trying to tell yourself is the truth. It's not the truth. So I did resign somewhere at the end of August, first day of September, I don't remember. I did resign from there. And here's the reason why I resigned. I resigned because the Reverend allowed racism and tried to make it my problem. I can tell you that there were 6-ish different times that the Reverend said that I needed to sit down with this other person in the room and have a conversation. I was told that when two people have personality conflicts, they need to communicate through them. I was told that not everybody's going to see eye to eye and have the same, perspectives, and so we need to get on the same page. I was told that this is about, my spiritual evolution and learning how to handle racism and the way that people act and the way that people treat me. And I was told that I should sit down with some practitioners and learn how to handle this. I mean, there were so many things. I declined every meeting because in my mind, you don't sit down with your abuser and defend your fucking skin color. There's nothing to defend. So why am I telling you this story? Because how did I stay somewhere for 2 months where I was being abused because of the color of my skin? I was being abused because I'm a bright light, I'm fucking smart, I'm highly successful, way articulate. This person told me she was raised in a prejudiced home. She didn't join the military because her dad said that the black women would eat her alive. Verbatim. That's the quote. I wanted to join the military. I really wanted to go. And when I told my parents, my dad said, if you join the military, those black women will eat you alive, end quote. There's no way in fucking hell that this is me being an oppressed black person. There's no way in hell that this is me being drama. There is no way in hell that this is me being me. And those of you that know me and have been in my world for a long time, I don't speak on racism. When was the last time you heard me talk about it? When was the last time you heard me say that color is the reason that this happened or that happened? You can go back through my hundreds of Facebook Lives. You can go back through my hundreds and thousands of posts. You can go through every fucking training that I have ever done. And anything I've ever brought up about skin color has been very objective and multiple sides when everything was happening in 2020, especially about, cop shootings and different things like that, anything that I spoke about was never about the oppression, cops being wrong, cops being racist, da-da-da, because I have a different belief system in that whole world, and I have my whole life. I have never been that way. So if I'm speaking up about racism, it's because it's true. And this was very hard for me to do. It was very hard for me to tell the truth when people ask why I left the congregation instead of protecting them. I wanted to protect them, and that sounds psychotic, doesn't it? Are there people in your life that you've romanticized? Men, friends, whatever, jobs, bosses that you've romanticized this job or this relationship into something that you wanted it to be, but the truth is they were telling you and showing you every step of the way of who they are, and yet you ignored it and you went against it and you edited it, right? And you still wanted to fucking defend them when someone asked why you quit, why you're not friends, why you left them. You still wanted to protect them. That was me. The last time I ever talked to the Reverend, I cried when I was getting off the phone. And generally speaking, when I cry, it's because I am so fucking pissed. Like in a situation like that, generally I cry because I am so angry that if I don't cry, I'm going to destroy a space or punch someone in the face. That is absolute truth. That's why I do so much healing work. I thought when I got to the end of that call, I cried because I was so angry. But what I noticed is my nervous system wasn't firing. I didn't feel angry. You know what I was? Sad. I knew that I would never be back. I knew I would never talk to the Reverend again, and I knew I would never be in that spiritual center again. And I was crying because the Reverend let me down. She told me that she had my back. But then she also told me how proud she was that she never had to interfere or do anything. It just all worked out. There were so many times she said, I don't have a problem having hard conversations. I think that hard conversations are necessary. I don't think that the Reverend does have a problem having hard conversations. I think she has a problem making hard decisions. Once I left, I wrestled with whether or not to tell anybody what happened to me. Should I keep my mouth shut, or should I tell what the truth is? If I kept my mouth shut, I would be protecting them, and that would be going against me. So I decided that I would tell the truth. The truth is not gossip. The truth is not harassment. And my truth is not false claims. The one thing I haven't told any of you guys is what the name of this spiritual center is. And the only reason why I haven't told you what the name of this spiritual center is because there's another one opening up in Salt Lake, and I don't want any tainting happening to the new one. The new one's brilliant. Guess who's the director of marketing for the new center? Guess who's on the board for the new center? Guess what this center is? It is exactly the center that I left, but a new one. So it's the law of attraction. It is non-denominational faith. It's every single fucking thing I wanted in the old one, but without the toxicity. Except for today, I found out that this person is doing everything they can to get all the information that they can in order to be a part of this new center. They're going to any events that anyone who's on the board there is holding. They are doing everything they can to be there. My challenge is I don't want to be in any spaces or any rooms that this person is in, because I'm not sure how much longer I can keep my diplomacy. I'm not sure how much longer I can not say what I need to say. Because I haven't said what I need to say once to this person. Not once. I have let her know who the fuck she's fucking with, but I haven't done it in a way that scares her enough to stay the fuck away from me. Any room that I'm in, to not walk into it. When her and I had this last conversation there were 2 points in that conversation that she said things that I needed to make certain that she knew who the fuck I was. One of them was, if people have a problem with me, they need to come to me. And if I've done something wrong, I'm gonna admit that. We can have a conversation like grown-ups and come to and you go through things that you maybe needed to go through, because I believe everything is a lesson. There is no coincidences. I believe that the universe always has your back. And if the universe led you here, then the universe will see you through, because the universe always has your back for your highest good and the highest good of all. It's something that I say all the time, right? And so I believed that as time went on, and I allowed myself to see the clarity in this story and this situation that I was in. And the fact that it took me 2 months to make it through that and make a different decision blows my mind. But in the same breath, it's like, I'm not conditioned to see racism. I'm not conditioned to see, massive manipulation campaigns. Like, this was something next level, like I can't even describe. And everybody around this woman defends, she's not right in the head. There's something wrong with her, the da-da-das, the blah, blah, blahs. Everybody has excuses for her to show up this way. Don't let one bad apple spoil it for the bunch, swim with the dolphins and this, swim with the dolphins, even though there's, a shark. People were attempting to diminish my truth and my journey while staying there and being abused. She left, but then she was basically called back. Just so many fucking things. So if you take this and you go, how does this apply in your life? Well, how does it? Where in your life do you want things to be a way so bad that you're lying to yourself about what it actually is so you can have what it is you want because you don't think that you can get it any other way? It's like, finally I'm here. Finally I have this. Finally it's what I've been looking for. Is it? Or did you make it out to be that? Is it what you really want? Are they who you really want? Are they a soul friend? Or are they a good time friend? Are they someone who sees, hears, and understands you? Or do they only half-ass do that, but they're constantly selfish and self-centered and positioning themselves in the friendship so that you're always pouring into them? Is this person amazing to you? Or have you just learned to accept the bullshit of the relationship and you've romanticized the rest of it? Is this job, this career amazing? Or is the money good so you have rewritten the truth? The more that you romanticize what it is that you want to happen instead of seeing things for what they are, the longer that you're going to be trapped and not feeling authentically loved. The longer you're going to be trapped in spending money on healing tool after healing tool after healing tool into years of therapy, and then feeling like you're just still not getting it, you're still not moving, you're still not connecting. Right down to the second of my resignation, I cried. Like, just deep cry. So why was I crying? It'll blow your mind. I was crying because the Reverend put me in a position to choose myself or the center. And if I would have chose the center, I would not be keeping my word to myself. And if I chose myself, I felt like I would be breaking my word to the center. I don't know how I could have been breaking my word when I designed all their marketing, set everything up. When I did resign, I laid it all out. I gave her access to everything. I told her where I left off on everything so that they could all pick up right where I left off. I gave it all. I kept my word. But my word was to double the congregation by the beginning of January. And I left at the end of August. And so for me, I had to break my word there in order to keep my word to myself. And that was heart-wrenching for me. My sobbing was over the woman that I am. I am a woman who her word is stronger than oak. Are you that kind of woman? Because I know I coach powerful, strong, badass women. Right? So is that you, the one who gives their word at all costs? No matter what you have to sacrifice, no matter what it does to you, no matter the pain that it causes, no matter the depletion you feel in your soul, are you that woman? Because if you are, and you always choose your word that you gave to someone else over the word that you give to yourself, you will never feel authentically loved for who you are. And like I said, I coach women like me, right? Strong, badass women. For you to feel authentically loved for who you are without wasting your money on healing tools by using your birth chart. Your birth chart's going to supercharge your healing because it is your soul blueprint and what you came here for. And this is the work that I have literally doubled down on in the last 6 months. And that's why I had the power to choose myself a few short weeks ago now. And it was hard. But I knew when I made the decision I would never go back on it because I was not willing to go back on choosing myself at all fucking costs. Okay? So when you're talking about healing, when you are talking about feeling authentically loved for who you are, the work you're doing in that container is so much more than just the healing tools that you choose. It's life being lifey and people being peoply, and what you do with that information and how you move and how you grow and how you transform within yourself. And when you're given these situations, what you do with them. Do you revert back to what you've always done, which was keep your word at all costs, be loyal to a fault, and fucking do it at the sacrifice of your own sanity, your own love? Do you abandon yourself for your word and you're loyal to a fault? Because as a strong, badass woman, that's what you do. But at what point do you choose yourself at all costs and love yourself at all costs so that you attract that outside of you? Because if I would have chose to keep my word, I would have never found the new spiritual place that is identical in what they teach, but matches who I am. The way that the new spiritual space is being built, it's me A to Z. It's how I would build a spiritual space A to Z. It's how I would show up. It's how I would market. It's how I would go to community. It's it's how I would create my code of ethics. It's the processes I would use to protect my members. It's how I would protect the energy. All of it is literally 100% aligned with me. So my other point to this is when you listen to your higher self, your soul whispers, or your ing, like it's all the same, right? Your inner nudge for good. And you move from that space, even if it brings you to your knees, even if you're sobbing so hard because you have to keep your word to yourself over someone else, even when you have to end the friendships or adjust what that friendship looks like for what it truly is. Even if you have to move someone from who you've called a soul friend to a good time friend, you do it because you know that when you take those steps and when you make those moves, the universe is going to keep opening the door, opening the door, opening the door, opening the door, even when it feels like fucking shit in the moment, to make the decision that you know is right for you. And the highest good of all, when you make that decision, everything changes. If I was to keep my mouth shut over what happened to me, that's not for the highest good of all. It only does one thing. Protects the place that didn't protect me. So why would you protect someone else, make that relationship something that it's not, and stay in that energy while not protecting yourself, while you're the one that sacrifices, while you're the one that loses, while you're the one that has to continue carrying and doing and being for everyone? At what point do you shift that and say, no, fuck this. I deserve better, so I'm going to give myself better. So in my world, the very first thing that we do is a mini birth chart reading. So if you'd like one, drop a crown in the comments. And I'll send you a message, get you on the list. We'll do a mini birth chart reading for you. And we move from there. I have 3 free gifts for you. First is a mini birth chart reading. Next is a exhale call. On that call, we'll chat for a minute and I will give you one solution that you just can take and implement immediately, okay, to help you exhale a little bit more, have a little more space in you. There is nothing for sale on that call. From that call is the 3rd free gift that I have for you, which is a soul reset plan. This is where we go deeper and we really build a customized plan for you to reset your soul and feel authentically loved, and for you to start choosing yourself in these spaces and these moments, like what I'm talking about. Make sure you're reading my posts on Monday. Every single Monday, you're going to hear my real stories. You're going to hear my journey, things that happened to me in the day and things I'm going through. My life, one thing in my life right now would bring every single one of you to your knees. Just one. And I have about 7 of them floating right now. So how do I stay upright? How come I'm here? How come I can tell stories? How can I can empower you? How can I give you energy? How can I help you transform your life and really step there? Because I don't fucking hide and I don't pretend. It's all out, it's all truth, and we move from there. So just keep that in mind when you're in my world, okay? I'm not gonna let you hide behind the bullshit that you've told yourself for so many years, because being a strong woman means that that strength can be your downfall. And I know that because it was mine for so fucking long. Thank you, Shannon. Oh, you missed the whole damn thing. I've been on for 37 minutes and you absolutely need to watch the replay of this because it was brilliant. So I just say to you that this is the first step. Drop your crown in the comments. Let's do your mini birth chart reading. And like I said, then we go from there to your exhale call, nothing for sale there. And then we go from there to your soul reset plan. And then if you want to move forward and work with me, great. If not, you've got some benefits and some information ideas as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here and holding space, whether you're live with me or on replay. Jasmine says, I always love listening to you, your stories and your wisdom. Mwah, to Jasmine. Ronnie was sharing earlier in my live, like she never ever has she, about me using racism as some, I never use racism as a way to get attention. I actually don't ever really talk about it, but today it needed to be shared, and I'm really looking forward to people from where I came from to listen to this. I don't know if they will, but this will probably be a huge shit stir across the board, but I've got my back and I've got myself and I choose me. And my story needs to be shared, because otherwise other people are going to go in there and be abused the way that I was abused. So let me wrap this back together. Yeah, you're on the list, Shannon. Stop romanticizing your friendships, your career, your business, your love relationships, your relationships with your children. See it for what it is. What is it showing you? What is the fucking truth? What is it that you need to see and know? It is eclipse season right now. We're at endings and beginnings. We had the fall equinox. Hold on, Kaya baby. I'm almost there. We had the fall equinox yesterday, right? And all this energy right now, and this live today is calling you forth. Make powerful decisions for yourself. It's time for you to move in an energy where you see things for what they are, so that you can feel a way that you want to feel, which is authentically loved, which is not feeling like you have to prove and do in order to feel that love, right? In order to live your life of abundance, in order for you to look in the mirror and be fucking proud of who you are and how far you've come and what you've done and where you're going, right? All of those things. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for holding space. And if no one told you today, you are worth it. You are always fucking worth it. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and we'll see you next time.